on
in the next election, and he was talking today when asked, Vassy, about winning the next election. That, I think you and I can both agree, would be a pretty remarkable outcome to start a new party like that with, just over a year before the federal election, and to win basically all the votes from Conservative supporters and beyond really would be something to see. So we'll have to watch.
So how are Conservatives where you are reacting, especially Andrew Scheer?
Yes, well, that I think was definitely the most remarkable part of the day. While Andrew Scheer tried to maintain a pretty calm demeanor in response to what Maxime Bernier had to say, he essentially painted him as something of a traitor, somebody who was walking away from his teammates. He and the rest of the Conservatives are really trying to essentially minimize Maxime Bernier right now, because he has gone from being a teammate, if one that they've had a bit of a difficult time with, to somebody who is their direct competitor, it seems. So listen to what Andrew Scheer had to say about Maxime Bernier today.
It's becoming more and more clear as he communicated and put statements out that he was doing so on his own and not part of a team that had offered him every opportunity to help implement the very ideas that he claimed to care about. It's obvious that this has been coming for a long time, and in retrospect, he probably made this choice to help Justin Trudeau a long time ago.
Turn right after 300 meters onto Redforth Drive.
Really care about the Conservative cause. If you ask Andrew Scheer, if you ask Maxime Bernier, he is essentially the one true Conservative left. The real question in all of this is how much heft Maxime Bernier is going to have, how much clout he has, how many Conservative supporters can he bring with him. That is something that is certainly being hotly debated, but I can tell you, Vassy, when you put microphones in front of Conservative MPs and ask them about it, everybody is very quick to minimize his abilities, despite the fact that he almost won the leadership just about 15 months ago. Everyone insists that he will not be able to take very many people with him. But of course, that is going to be a big issue, a potentially massive issue, not just for the Conservative Party, but for Canadian politics as a whole moving forward.
All right,
turn left after 200 meters onto Eglinton Avenue West.
The party plan to handle Bernier's departure? Are MPs worried his move will split the Conservative vote in next year's election? Joining me now from the Conservative Convention in Halifax,
please turn next
Chief Whip Mark Strahl. Hi, Mr. Strahl. Thanks so much for being with us. I want to start off by asking, were you surprised by Mr. Bernier's decision today?
No, I think I was disappointed, but not surprised. It became fairly clear over the last few days that he was going in a different direction, that he was making the choice to separate himself from the Conservative Party of Canada, and today he made that official. So I'm disappointed that he's chosen that route, but it certainly didn't come as a shock.
How sure are you that nobody else in caucus walks with him?
We just had a caucus meeting. I've never seen the caucus more united. They are focused entirely on our goal, which is to defeat Justin Trudeau in 2019 and make Andrew Scheer the next Prime Minister of Canada. We're focused on the work that we have to do here this week in Halifax, and Mr. Bernier's made his choice to go it alone. He clearly never accepted the result of the leadership race, and he certainly doesn't put his trust in the members of our party. I think our caucus is 100% united behind Andrew Scheer, and we certainly saw that today in our caucus meeting that just wrapped up.
We just received word, Mr. Strahl, that all but one member of Mr. Bernier's local Conservative association has resigned. The president, Charles Lafond, says that we've, quote, always been there more for Maxime than for the party. Does that worry you?
No, I don't think so. I think Max has clearly surrounded himself with people that say the things that he wants
Turn right
to hear.
after 6 kilometers.
Lots of people across the country who supported Max in the leadership race, but they accepted the result because they accept the wisdom of our members. And many of them, we've heard from hundreds of them already today, who are saying that while they may have supported Max in the leadership race, they support a united Conservative Party that is focused on getting rid of this tired Justin Trudeau government, and that they believe that Maxime should have been focused on that. Now that he's left the Conservative Party, they're still with us because they believe in the same things that we do: smaller government, more affordability for Canadians, lower taxes, all those things that Conservatives work so hard to promote and have been winning the debates on in Ottawa. Those are the things that our members are still united behind. So yes, there'll be some that go with Maxime Bernier, but he's made the choice to leave this party, and we think that certainly caucus and the majority of our party are going to unite in our common goal to defeat Justin Trudeau.
Your leader, Andrew Scheer, today said that Maxime Bernier's decision to leave the party was a decision to help Justin Trudeau. Is that an admission that your party is in real trouble in the election?
No, I think that we all have a choice to make. What are we going to put our efforts towards? And the Conservative Party of Canada is the only party in Canada that has a chance to defeat Justin Trudeau and make him a one-term Prime Minister. And there are 96 members of caucus that are working towards that goal. And if you're not working towards that goal, the only other possible scenario is a Justin Trudeau government. So if you're not working for us, you're working against us. And so the fact that Maxime has chosen to work against the only political vehicle in Canada that can replace Justin Trudeau with a principled Conservative government, he's made that choice. And when you're not rowing in the same direction as us to make Andrew Scheer the next Prime Minister, that to me says that you are working to maintain the status quo.
But does that mean that scenario, the status quo scenario, Justin Trudeau staying in power, is more likely because of the decision Maxime Bernier made today?
I don't think so. We have seen time and again our party is strong. We're out fundraising the Liberals 2-1. We have hundreds of thousands of members who have chosen to be a part of this. We have 3,000 delegates here who've flown across the country to Halifax to participate in this policy debate. So while Justin Trudeau is also working to stay in power, the fact that there are people who are not working with us doesn't mean that we are any less likely to win the next election. We're ready, and we are working hard with this group that's here, the members that have come again, who participated in the policy process. And I have to say that the most offensive part of what Maxime said today was that Conservatives don't engage in vigorous debates. We have 3,000 people here that would beg to disagree, and 100,000 members at home who've been a part of this policy process who would beg to disagree. He might not like what they have to say. He might think he knows better than those 3,000 people that are here, or the 100,000 members who are part of our movement. But we trust our membership to make the right decisions. They made the right decision in the leadership race. They're going to make the right decisions here week, and we put our trust in those grassroots members. Maxime can put his trust in himself, but we've always been a grassroots-driven party, and that's who we're working for.
What about the values that he has espoused over not just today, but the last week and a half? And I'm asking specifically about his tweets calling out Justin Trudeau for, quote, radical multiculturalism and a cult of diversity. Do you think that those terms and the way that he's described them are anti-immigrant?
Well, I think first of all that they are new views to Maxime Bernier. I've served with Max for 7 years. I've never once heard him espouse those views in public or in private. I think he's trying to catch on to a lightning rod issue, something that would draw attention to him while he worked on this plan to launch his new party. I think we are a party. The Conservative Party is a proud party that has done a number of firsts when it comes to Japanese women in cabinet. We've had the first Pakistani senators.
I understand that, Mr. Strong. And sorry to interrupt.
If you go down the whole list.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm asking if you would characterize his language as anti-immigrant.
I would characterize his language as, first of all, probably not being Maxime's language, and secondly, that those tweets are not representative of our party. If you want to see what our party believes, you can look at what our shadow minister for immigration has said, that we want to have planned, orderly, lawful immigration. We want people to come to Canada to build a life here. That's been our heritage. And when you start talking about things, absolutely, when you start talking about, maybe there's too much diversity or those sorts of things that Max invented in the last week, that certainly doesn't represent what our party believes in. And it's certainly, I think it's up to Maxime to define what he meant by those terms. If he thinks that Canada is suddenly too diverse, he needs to be the one to address that. That doesn't represent our party's views. We're working hard with all Canadians who are focused on the same goals that we are.
Before I let you
Turn
go,
right after 4 kilometers.
For a second. Say Mr. Bernier truly does feel like his values don't match the party's anymore. It's definitely not the first time that that's been the case. Of course, many of our viewers will remember your dad, Chuck Strahl, was leader of the Democratic Representative Caucus that broke ranks with Stockwell Day's Canadian Alliance Party in 2001. Is Bernier's decision really that crazy?
Well, absolutely it is. At that time, there were decisions that were made to try to preserve the party. There were decisions that were made about whether the party needed to go in a different direction, whether the leadership was taking the party in the right direction. It was a completely opposite situation to what we have now. We have a united party. We have a strong leader. We're out fundraising the Liberals. We're even in the polls. None of those things held true back then. This is an attempt to destroy the Conservative Party of Canada. Back in the day, those were attempts to bring the parties together. And I think the proof is in the pudding. You know, there were some difficult times there, but it resulted in a united Conservative movement, a united Conservative Party of Canada, and that's what we're fighting to protect here today.
I have to leave it there because I'm out of time, but I really thank you for your time, Mr. Strahl.
Okay, thank you.
We'll have a lot more on this story coming up in the program, but first, Mexico says it's working to reach a deal with the U.S. on some key NAFTA issues as soon as possible. How close are they, and why is Canada not involved in those negotiations? We'll get the view from Mexico right after this.
SiriusXM has a channel dedicated to MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling. Channel 93 is now SiriusXM Fight Nation. Get pro wrestling opinions from Dave LaBecca and WWE Hall of Famers Mark Henry and Bully Ray on Busted Open. MMA coverage with Luke Thomas and former UFC bantamweight champion Misha Tate. And boxing talk with Jerry Cody and Randy Gordon. If you love the fight game, rush to Channel 93. SiriusXM Fight Nation.
SiriusXM's First Wave has The Cure, The Smiths, and Depeche Mode. Our daily features will jog your memories of the 80s.